Did you see the ONS release figures of the number of people who died of COVID, just COVID, in the last 2 years? 17,000. Average age, over 80.
Yes, but 80-year-olds are people too. We shouldn't disregard their importance and their worth just because of their age.
Bit of a red herring there, Boris. I'm not advocating for dismissing the significance of the elderly, a position that I can support by the fact that I volunteer at a couple of local events and charities that are aimed primarily at assisting the elderly.
Well, aren't you a saint? And I've seen this 17,000 person figure, and I personally think it's a bit misleading, because some of the people who had other things, other comorbidities, would have survived. But, COVID pushed them over the edge.
The vulnerable.
Yes, absolutely.
Why not just protect the vulnerable then? Moreover, every year respiratory viruses and flus push the vulnerable over the edge. I mean, it's a mean-spirited fact of life, but a fact of life nonetheless. It's more of an event than a story.
So, you'd have had us do nothing then? Is that what you're saying?
I would have expected an elected government in a free society to furnish the public with as much impartial information as possible, aiding their personalised risk assessment and assisting them in their uncoerced navigation of the situation.
So you'd have done nothing?
It just so happens that Sweden has a relatively new constitution, one which prevents, quite rightly, the government mandating nationwide lockdowns.
Bloody Scandinavians and their risk-taking, ultimately self-flagellating constitution that's bound to lead them into serious troubles in the future.
Those bloody Scandinavians provided a useful counterpoint to the bigoted orthodoxy of lockdown fanaticism. Their infection graph was virtually identical to every other country that did lockdown.
They're a bunch of tricky badgers.
Implying that lockdowns were not only atrociously damaging to the economy and the principle of civil liberties, but entirely ineffective.
Ah, Harry, my man. That's what I like to see. Taking things seriously and protecting others as a point of principle.
Oh, I've just started, I'm going to be wearing the mask everywhere now, just as the mandate's been lifted.
Well, what can I say? You're a model citizen. And listen to this chap. He's been supping at the nectar of cynicism this morning. I think it's great. You're showing this pandemic the respect and the fear that it deserves.
Where's your mask, Boris?
Exempt.
Oh, well, my thinking was, if you can call it thinking.
It'd be a stretch.
This is the time that is most dangerous. Now that the
mask has slipped.
Where's the protection? I felt safer when everyone was wearing one all the time. But now they're not, so the virus is probably everywhere. Don't get me wrong. I'm not an expert pandemiotrician or, epidemicologist. Mental health is more my speciality. And I think I'm onto something here, Stay one step ahead of the game. The only time that I'll take this off in public would be if I was invited to a Democratic fundraiser, as long as all the staff are masked.
Yes, I've seen. Good old Pelosi, a sane mind in the political maelstrom of the moment, And you've had the booster.
Oh, yes. I've had 9 all told.
9?
Nine.
One more and you get a free latte. That was the video, and I'd be much appreciated if you'd like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Cheers.